Hello, everybody. Good afternoon and good morning, and welcome back to another episode of the Coffee Stream. It is Friday, January 29th, and I am in a lot of freaking pain. um, but I didn't want to not stream because there's been a lot of me not streaming lately. So I figured I would just push through. And I do apologize if I yawn a lot, because when I get in pain, I get sleepy. Um, it's it's weird. Anyway, I hope everyone is having a good Friday and is ready to start the weekend. I know that there's a lot of uh, cabin fever going on right now because most of us have to stay home. So I do hope that you're finding ways to keep yourself entertained. And I do hope that one of those ways is by watching me. And I hope that I can provide you with some entertainment. So I've got a few stories here for us to get through. And I'm going to try to go for as long as I can. I'm hoping to get an hour. So let's see here. Let's go over to my Twitter DMs. So let's close the YouTube window because we no longer need that open. All right. Yeah. So we're going to start with something funny. We're going to start with a funny story. Because why not? So we're going to read a story about a Welsh woman. A very unfortunate Welsh woman who did an interview. And you might say, well, she did an interview, why is she unfortunate? Well, we'll find out in a moment. If Chrome starts not being busy. Jesus Christ. Come on, Chrome. What is Chrome doing? Like, Chrome has legitimately just frozen. That's fantastic. Okay. So hopefully my refreshing the news article did not kick me out of StreamYard. Okay, good. Good, it did not do that. Hooray. Okay. Let's read about this poor woman. So let's read about this woman who did an interview with her sex toy visible. Oops, Welsh woman does interview with sex toy visible on bookshelf. Becomes a social media darling in the UK after BBC interview. All right then. I guess she's not a poor woman. We'll be the judge. I guess you'll be the judge. Let's see here. Article content. Okay, here we go.
It's become somewhat of a sport during the pandemic to check out what people have in the backgrounds during their video interviews.
Has it? I didn't know that.
There might be a new clubhouse leader. YouTube video player. Governor General skip. And YouTube. Eagle-eyed a Welsh woman named Yvette Amos found herself a social media darling in the UK after a recent interview with the BBC. Eagle-eyed viewers spotted a large sex toy on a bookshelf behind Amos.
A large sex toy. Not just a sex toy, a large sex toy.
Link. Mediaite reported. Period. Heading level 2. Story continues below. Third-party ad content. Group. Save frame container.
Was it a dildo? Was it a butt plug? What was it?
This advertisement has not loaded. Heading level 2. Twitter tweet. Twitter embed. And Twitter tweet. Amos was appearing on BBC Wales today, apparently to talk about COVID-19's impact on employment, but it appears nobody was paying much attention to what Amos was saying. The cheeky. Link. You are currently on a link. Link. Daily Mail. The cheeky. Followed up and asked the woman's mother about the incident.
Of course they
You are
did.
currently on a text element. Nothing sticks to Trudeau. What? I did watch the interview and my son pointed out what was behind her. I did see it, but don't know what it was and have not asked her. She is a grown woman, Esther Williams told the Daily Mail.
I did not ask her what it was.
End of article.
Oh, that's it? Oh, that's boring. That's a boring article. I thought it would be funnier than that. That was a nothing burger. I'm disappointed.
12:24 p.m. Piccolo the driving ape. I have seen an 8-inch butt plug. I would like to know their definition of a large toy.
I've seen an 8-inch butt plug. I would like to see their definition of a large toy.
12:21 p.m. Alexander Ramson. Hey Fine Press. How are you? Slightly smiling.
I'm good. Hi.
Gunfox 61. Weekend. 4 periods. What weekend? This is my Tuesday.
Weekend? What weekend? This is my Tuesday, says Gunfox. Oh, that sucks. I'm sorry, Gunny. That is very unfortunate, sir. All right. Next story. This is about Canada Post workers refusing to deliver a newspaper. A specific newspaper. Two Canada Post workers in Regina suspended after refusing to deliver the Epoch Times. They have an Epoch Times in Saskatchewan? Oh. We got an Epoch Times delivered to us. So let's read this. Let's share the screen here. An 8-inch butt plug. That's like the size of a baby's head. Why the fuck would you want that in your ass? Anyway. All right. Readers are wise enough to judge for themselves, says paper's publisher. Yes, they are. They absolutely are. He is correct.
Button.
Okay, let's read here.
Two Canada Post workers in Regina were temporarily suspended earlier this month after they refused to deliver the latest sample edition of the Epoch Times.
Epoch Times, their voiceover.
The head of the local CUPW union that represents postal workers said both mail carriers were escorted from the building when they informed their supervisors they were unwilling to deliver the publication. They were suspended without pay for 3 days.
Good. You don't have the right to tell people what they should and shouldn't be reading. It's your job to deliver the mail, not to frickin' decide which mail you think should be delivered.
According to its sample issue, the Epoch Times was created to bring honest and uncensored news to people oppressed by deception and tyranny in communist China. The paper sells subscriptions in dozens of countries and makes some content available free on its website, which, according to the paper, gets about 5.7 million readers per month in Canada. It occasionally mails out free, unsolicited sample editions through Canada Post as advertising mail.
Okay.
The paper was founded in the U.S. in 2000 by Chinese-American followers of the Falun Gong spiritual practice, who have been persecuted by the Chinese government. In the past, it has broken stories about human rights abuses in China.
Interesting. Okay, and that's... See, and I didn't know what this... Because we got one of these, I guess they were the free samples. I think it was last week or 2 weeks ago that we got it. So this is, I guess that's what this newspaper is. That it's pretty interesting.
Send. Dim. Chat. Custom. 12:27 p.m. Gunfox 61. Piccolo, check your Discord DMS. When you have 12:26 p.m. Piccolo, the driving 8. The Epoch Times, the West distributing national paper. We've been getting them here as advertisements in the mail.
I know we got one. I didn't know that we... I didn't know it was a national paper. Or I guess an international paper.
Epoch Times content runs the gamut from articles about health and wellness to science, politics and technology, but its main focus has been news and current affairs stories that are critical of the ruling Chinese Communist Party CCP. A copy of the sample edition sent out in January in several Canadian cities. Submitted. In recent years, it has expanded its coverage of U.S. politics and gained traction among some supporters of former U.S. President Donald Trump by covering topics such as link, Spygate, link, QAnon conspiracy theory, and link, unfounded allegations of election fraud.
Unfounded There was fraud. It just wasn't widespread. Oh my god.
Link, its site. You are currently... The paper describes itself as nonpartisan and independent of any influence from corporations, governments, or political parties. In its sample issue, the Epoch Times says it has a reputation for independent, fact-based traditional journalism and its goal is to serve the public benefit and be truly responsible to society. Heading Level 2. I'm not for censorship. Ramiro Sepulveda, one of the suspended postal workers, told CBC News he objects to the insinuations in some of the paper's past coverage of the link, origins of the coronavirus, which the paper calls the CCP virus. Chrome has new window.
Okay, so a Chinese... essentially a Chinese newspaper, right? Because it's founded by Chinese Americans, is calling this the CCP virus, and you're offended by this. You're offended by Chinese people calling this the CCP virus, and who are you offended for? For yourself or for others?
I'm not for censorship. I'm not against freedom of speech, he said. What my thing is there is no disclaimer stating that this was theory.
It's a newspaper, not a scientific journal. They don't need to wow, okay, so you go to the newspaper for your... Have you ever heard of an op-ed? Wow, okay. I didn't think that they needed to put that as, this is a theory. This is a theory? Okay.
He says he went straight to his supervisor when he saw the free editions that were set to be delivered earlier this month. I said, that Epoch Times, I'm not delivering it. It goes against everything I believe in.
That's not your... So... Okay, you are a postal worker, alright? Your job is to deliver the mail, not to go through the contents of the mail sack and go, oh, I don't agree with this piece of mail. I'm not delivering it. Oh, this piece of mail is fine. I'll deliver this one. Oh, nope, this mail, nope, I don't like this contents. What the who are you? Who do you think you are that you get to decide who gets to read what? It's a free freaking sample newspaper. And it is not inciting any violence. It's not... I don't know what you think this is supposed to... Fun fact, says Pink Hollow, if you are for free speech and then say that your speech needs a disclaimer, you're not for free speech. Yep. I am for free speech, period. Yeah. This is crazy. Hey, RVA. Let's see here. Check Twitter. The end of the rant is perfect. Okay.
Regina mail carrier Lin Yingsu refused to deliver the Epoch Times because she said she was concerned its coverage of the Chinese government and the coronavirus could add to anti-Asian sentiment. Jin Liu. The second worker, Lin Yingsu, who was born in China, said she felt uncomfortable delivering the paper because she feared its coverage of the Chinese government could contribute to anti-Chinese and anti-Asian sentiment in Canada and misconceptions around the origins of the coronavirus. You are currently...
Again, not your job. Not your decision. This paper is not illegal. It is not, like, if you are being forced to deliver illegal packages, then I could see you saying, no, I'm not doing that. But you're delivering a free sample paper that falls completely within the Charter of Rights and Freedoms to print. You have no business saying that that people can't get these papers. None. And what happens if some people in your delivery area sign up for the subscription paper? Are you not going to deliver something they pay for? Because you don't agree with it? And if you're going to go through that mail package or that mail bag and look at what's there to deliver and what's not there, like, are you going to start going through people's mail to see what you think they should get because you don't agree with what's being said? Like, this is a whole bunch of no.
This is not just about Chinese Canadians, it's about all Asian Canadians, she told CBC News in a conversation through Facebook. The unjustified discrimination against Chinese Canadians will turn to discrimination against all Asian Canadians. You are currently on it. I may not be able to stop other people from delivering these papers, but I can stop myself from doing things that betray my own belief.
No, you can't. You literally cannot do that. That is not what your job is, and that is not legal. Like, you literally cannot not deliver something that is legal. If your company is hired or contracted by somebody posting something in the mail, and it is a legal thing to be posting in the mail, you deliver that thing. That is what your job is. Period. Your job is to deliver one thing to another, from one place to another place. Like, I could just imagine freaking Pink Hollow being like, "Oh, I don't agree with this package. I happen to have caught a glimpse of what's in this package, and I don't agree with what's in here, so I'm just not going to deliver it to my client." Like, what the fuck? Are you serious? Yeah. I don't like this paper. I'm not going to deliver it anymore. Where? Come on. Yes, she is. She is. You're right, honey. She is.
Heading level 2. Readers can judge for themselves, says publisher. In an email to CBC News that was also link posted on the paper's website. The publisher of the Canadian edition of the Epic Times, Sindagu, said sending out free copies is a common practice in the news industry to grow business.
Yep.
Canada is a country that believes in the freedom of the press, and we believe readers are wise enough to judge for themselves whether we are reporting truthfully, Gu said. This is a free country. Readers deserve the chance to know different styles and types of reporting.
Yeah, absolutely.
List 1 item. Bullet. End of the list. You are currently... Gu said the majority of feedback to the recent edition has been positive. If people do not wish to read or sample newspaper, then treat it like other promotional material, she said. You are currently on...
Yeah, she's right. If you don't want it, then treat it like other stuff. Treat it like junk mail. You know, use it to line your bird cage. I don't know. Keep it around for fire starting material. I like what? You don't. I'm not gonna deliver the paper. I don't like the contents of the paper. Where? Oh. Freaking ridiculous.
If the delivery of mail is up to the individual carrier to decide based on his/her impression of hatred, no one can trust the post office anymore. If Canada Post were to block us, that would be the government censoring an independent media outlet. This would violate the Charter of Rights, which guarantees freedom of the press. You are currently on it. The Epic Times sells print and digital subscriptions in dozens of countries and occasionally mails out free sample editions as advertising mail through Canada Post. Pauline Dantas. Gu said the fears that some of the paper's content could be misconstrued as anti-Asian are unjustified. You are currently...
Well, considering that most of the paper's contributors are Asian,
We are media started by Asian immigrants. There is no way we would publish content that is anti-Asian, she said. In reporting the facts, we may contradict some commonly accepted narratives, including about China. Reading us can be a liberating experience. Heading level 2. Other postal workers have objected to delivery. The Regina workers aren't the first postal workers to complain about the publication. In April 2020, some mail carriers in the Greater Toronto Area, you are currently on a tech link, objected to having to deliver it, and their union local filed a request with the federal government asking for an interim order to stop delivery of the newspaper. That request was denied.
Good.
Has a new window.
Good.
The national branch of the Canadian Union of Postal Workers says it is currently in discussions with Canada Post about this matter.
As it should be, because this is ridiculous. You can't not deliver a newspaper because you don't like what's in it. That's just ridiculous. Oh, right. You did tell me that. Pink Hollow says, and the funny thing is that mail carriers get paid like 3 cents for everything they deliver, like flyers and stuff. And that's from a Canada Post carrier. Yep. So not only is she breaking the law, she's also ruining her own wallet. Plus, Epic Times pays for the submission, or Epoch Times pays for the submissions. This is so silly.
List 1 item. Bull link. Federal government end of the Canada. The Canada Post said letter carriers are obligated to deliver any mail that is properly prepared and paid for.
Yeah.
2 Canada Post workers in Regina were temporarily The head of the local CUPW union that represents postal workers said both mail carriers were escorted from the building when they informed their supervisors they were unwilling to deliver the publication. They were suspended without pay for 3 days.
Good.
You are currently
so they told their supervisors that they weren't going to deliver it, and then the supervisors were like, okay, get out. Go home. That's funny. I'm sorry, but that's just too funny. We're not delivering this paper. We don't like it. Go. All right, that's fine. Go home. You're suspended without pay for 3 days. Wait, what? That's how that went. What do you mean I'm suspended without pay for 3 days? More spicy news in Discord. Oh gosh. Okay, next story here. Ah, yes. Come on, load up. So yeah, this is about Miss Julie Payette, the former Governor General of Canada. Okay. All right. So this says Julie Payette upset that her RCMP security detail was allowed to take part in the personnel review. Well, why the hell would they not be? Okay. Whatever. Crazy lady. Your whole family's insane. Okay, here we go.
Ottawa, former Governor General Julie Payette was frustrated that officers in her RCMP protective detail were offered the chance to give testimony in the third-party workplace review released in redacted form on Wednesday, sources have told the National Post.
So what? Because the RCMP is technically the federal police, you think they're not a different program so that they shouldn't be testifying? Oh.
Payette felt the Privy Council office should have kept the review to staff working at Rideau Hall, and that it was a grievous breach of her privacy and her relationship with her protective detail, officers mandated to protect Payette around the clock, including on her personal time, that they were included in the review's scope. The review team conducted 92 interviews between October 12th and November 23rd, 2020 for the report, including 22 with non-Rideau Hall staff. You are currently...
Sorry, honey, but they were a part of your staff. They may not have been just at Rideau Hall specifically, but they were a part of your staff.
YouTube video player. Group. Opposition leaders and up. YouTube. Think about heading level 2. Story continues to heading level. Think about it. It can't inspire confidence to know that someone dedicated to protecting your life may have also spoken against you in the review, said one source close to the situation. You are currently heading level 2. Advertise. Story continues below. Third party at Safe Frame Container. Safe Frame and up. This advertised heading. Last week, the National Police Federation, the union certified in 2019 to represent frontline RCMP members, issued a statement saying it learned in September 20th stories of harassment and other troubling behavior experienced by RCMP members assigned to Governor General Julie Payette's protection detail, but did not provide more information. You are currently on a text element. A union spokesperson confirmed to the Post that members of Payette's security detail were offered the opportunity to participate in interviews with Quintet Consulting, the firm that conducted the review, but the spokesperson said the union can't say how many officers, if any, gave testimony.
Well, I don't see why that's not something that shouldn't be allowed. If they were working for her and they were, experiencing issues, then they should be allowed to testify. It doesn't matter if they weren't at Rideau Hall all the time. I don't know. Maybe they had something to say that she doesn't want them to say. Hello, Selected Boy. Those postal workers should have been told, okay, you're fired, goodbye.
Chrome has new window.
Yeah. Are you ready for a fun piece of legislation, says Pink Hollow? are you, or because of Bill C-16, they could actually be charged with hate speech because they are affecting a group of individuals en masse. Oh, wow. That I didn't know.
Heading level 2. More on this article. End article. End of article. End of.
So yeah,
Heading
Julie
story
Payette is
continues
throwing
below.
a fit
Third party
about the RCMP being interviewed
Safe frame
about
contain end of.
her.
Third, this advertise heading level 2. Rideau Hall's press office declined comment for this story. You are currently on a text. The workplace review is focused on current and former employees of the Office of the Secretary to the Governor General, OSGG. However, the terms of reference said Quintet was responsible for identifying any other knowledgeable individuals, e.g., non-OSC personnel who work on OSGG premises or who witnessed key events, and invite them to be interviewed on a voluntary basis.
Okay.
Of the 92 interviews, 41 were current OSGG employees, 29 were former OSGG employees, and 22 were non-OSC employees, the category of knowledgeable individuals, along with the RCMP and Canadian Forces. This could have included employees with federal departments and agencies such as the National Capital Commission, Canadian Heritage and Global Affairs Canada.
So there is a category for people that don't specifically work in Rideau Hall, which is the non-OSGG workers. So I don't see what the problem is. What is she trying to hide here? That she doesn't want her RCMP security detail to reveal.
Payette's office felt the workplace review was too broad in scope, sources told the Post, which was in part why they brought on former Supreme Court of Canada Justice Michelle Bastarach as a constitutional advisor. Bastarach told Radio Canada in October that his mandate was to ensure that the independence and integrity of the institution are not adversely affected by the process created by the Privy Council. You are currently on a text element.
They're getting... Let's see.
Of the 90, Payette's office felt the workplace review was too broad in scope. Newly sworn in Governor General Julie Payette inspects the honor guard at Rideau Hall in...
Oh, it's a picture of her when she's okay.
The review was released Wednesday in heavily redacted form, with all specific allegations blacked out. However, the review says the interviewee's alleged Rideau Hall was a toxic workplace with incidents of yelling, screaming, aggressive conduct, demeaning comments, and public humiliation. Quintet cautioned that it did not further investigate the claims to prove their accuracy.
Okay.
Heading level 2. Advertisement.
Yelling, demeaning comments, screaming, and aggressive behavior.
Story continues below. Third-party ad content. Group safe frame container. End of. Third-party ad this advertisement has not loaded. Heading level 2. Both Payette and the Secretary to the Governor General assumed Di Lorenzo resigned last week over the review's conclusions. The public version of the report removes details about exchanges between Rideau Hall management and Quintet as the review was getting underway, and it is unclear if any of those exchanges were directly with Payette. But two sources told the Post that Payette's office had many exchanges with the Privy Council office about the boundaries and scope of the review.
Okay.
Payette was also in regular contact with RCMP Commissioner Brenda Lucki during this period. However, sources said it was not unusual for them to speak on various issues, particularly given the incident in the summer when a man crashed into the Rideau Hall gate and threatened the Prime Minister, and it is not known for certain if Payette directly lodged complaints with Lucki about the security detail participating in the review.
So, this is so freaking convoluted. She is just throwing a giant temper tantrum right now. She resigned, but she's also throwing a temper tantrum because people are looking into things. And she doesn't want people to look into things. This is... I resigned, isn't that enough for you people? That's what this is. That is exactly what this is.
A spokesperson for the RCMP's National Division, which includes the RCMP Governor General Protection Detail, said they are not aware of any complaints by Payette to them about the workplace review. The RCMP also declined to comment on any harassment or other work-related complaints from officers on Payette's protected detail.
Yeah.
For privacy reasons, we are not in a position to speak specifically to the information contained in the third-party workplace review, spokesperson Stéphanie Dumoulin said in an email. However, in general terms, when an incident of harassment or inappropriate conduct against our employees is reported, we take action immediately to address the matter. We work with our protected clients to ensure a safe and respectful workplace for our employees at all times. You are...
I would hope so.
Heading level 2. Advertisement.
I would hope that, you know, if this does actually amount to something, that she stands, you know, that it's dealt with, because just because she's a woman in power doesn't mean that she should be allowed to be a bully. Um, so let's take a look at the next story here. Where are we here? Okay, next story. Of course, it's about Mr. Trudeau. There we go. Okay. Here we go. All right, so this story is about Trudeau putting more measures in place for international travel. Now is just not the time to be flying, PM Trudeau announces new flying restrictions. So this was published on Friday. Okay. Here we go.
End of the list. You are currently on Ottawa. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau has announced all Canadian travelers returning from overseas will have to take a COVID-19 test at the airport when they land and quarantine in a designated hotel for 3 days at their own expense while they await results. You are currently on a text element inside of web content. To exit
Wait,
this
3 days? They have to wait 3 days before
End of
results?
Ottawa. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau has announced all Canadian travelers returning from overseas will have to take a COVID-19 test at the airport when they land and quarantine in a designated hotel for 3 days at their own expense while they await results. He says that's expected to cost more than $2,000. Those with negative test results will be able to then quarantine for the remainder of the mandatory 2 weeks at home, while those with positive tests will be required to quarantine in designated government facilities. You are currently on a text
At designated government.
He says those with negative test results will be able to then quarantine for the remainder of the mandatory 2 weeks at home, while those with positive tests will be required to quarantine in designated government facilities.
At camps, you mean?
Article. Link, bullet, link, bullet, link, bullet, vis, bullet, link, bullet, link, bullet, link, bullet, link, bullet, link, bullet, link, bullet. Chrome has new.
Come on.
Link, bullet. You are correct. In the coming weeks, Trudeau, Canada's main airlines will also end of the list. Link. News end of the list. Canada's main airlines will also suspend service to all Caribbean destinations in Mexico starting this Sunday until April 30th. You are correct.
Wow. There goes March break for everybody. No spring break no international travel for spring break for anybody.
Trudeau says it's important to further restrict international travel as more infectious variants of COVID-19 spread around the globe.
Yes, because it's a virus and it mutates.
In the coming weeks, non-essential travelers will also have to show a negative test before entry at the land border with the United States. Related images. Link. List 1. End of the heading. Link. Twitter tweet button. Group tweet and link. Reddit. FB share underscore.
Is this
Fake
it?
And link. List 2 items.
Yep, that's it. So I think
Link, heading level 2,
yep,
link, image.
That's it.
A sign promoting knowledge, heading level 2,
So,
link.
yeah, there's gonna be no international travel allowed until at least April 30th. So no spring break. The People's Republic of Kazakhstan. Hey, Costin. And I assume it's Trudeau being intense as usual. Yep. Exactly right. Okay, so next story. We are going to do this one first. Oops. Okay. So this is a story about a new or a vaccine by Johnson and Johnson. Okay. Let's take a look here. No, thanks. Go away. Johnson & Johnson's one-dose coronavirus shot appears less effective than others. Oh, good. Okay. Close video. Yes. All right, here we go.
Link. Johnson & Johnson on Friday said its single-dose vaccine was 72% effective in preventing COVID-19 in the United States, but a lower rate of 66% was observed globally in the large trial conducted across 3 continents and against multiple variants.
That's not very effective at all. I don't think I would even bother with that.
In the trial of nearly 44,000 volunteers, the level of protection against moderate and severe COVID-19 was 66% in Latin America and just 57% in South Africa, where a particularly worrying variant of the novel coronavirus is circulating. You are currently on a text element.
That's crazy.
In the trial of nearly 44,000 volunteers, the level of protection against moderate and severe COVID-19 was 66% in Latin America and just 57% in South Africa, where a particularly...
I'm kind of speechless here. They think this is okay?
Those results compared to the high bar set by 2 authorized vaccines from Pfizer Incorporated /BioNTech SE and Moderna Incorporated, which were around 95% effective in preventing symptomatic illness in pivotal trials when given in 2 doses. Those trials, however, were conducted mainly in the United States and before the broad spread of new variants now under the spotlight.
But 95% effectiveness versus between 57 and 66% effectiveness. That's just sad. That's just a sad statistic. I have to say.
J&J's main study goal was the prevention of moderate to severe COVID-19, and the vaccine was 85% effective in stopping severe disease and preventing hospitalization across all geographies and against multiple variants 28 days after immunization. You are currently on a text element. Story continues. J&J's main study goal was the prevention of moderate to severe COVID-19, and the vaccine was 85% effective in stopping severe disease and preventing hospitalization across all geographies and against multiple variants 28 days after immunization.
But this just doesn't seem effective to me. And of course it's Johnson & Johnson. Their stuff is never very good. Like, my kids are allergic to the Johnson & Johnson soap. Like the baby stuff. They're allergic to that stuff. We can't use it on them. I already have an issue with this vaccine because of how quickly it was produced and how rushed and everything all the vaccines were. I'd like more data on all of them before I get it. This in particular just seems incredibly rushed, incredibly ineffective, and I don't think I would run out and grab a Johnson & Johnson coronavirus vaccine, honestly.
Story continues. The third-party ad Safe Rank and Third-party ad. Read more. Chrome has new window. Link. That level of prevention will potentially protect hundreds of millions of people from serious and fatal outcomes of COVID-19, Dr. Paul Stoffels, J&J's chief scientific officer, said in a statement.
No, not really.
The company plans to seek emergency use authorization from the U.S. Food and Drug Administration next week.
Really? With that low of an effectiveness rate, you want to apply for emergency? Okay.
Public health officials have been counting on the J&J vaccine to increase much-needed supply and simplify the U.S. immunization campaign. Unlike the Pfizer/BioNTech and Moderna vaccines, J&J's does not require a second shot weeks after the first or need to be kept frozen, making it a strong candidate for use in parts of the world with weak transportation infrastructure and insufficient cold storage facilities.
Okay, but it's not... It's barely effective. I mean, it's great that it doesn't need to be frozen. Make it more effective, and that will matter. Let's see here.
Click to play video. Click to play video. U.S. launches and U.S. launches ambitious vaccine plan as new COVID-19. U.S. launches heading. Story continue. Several studies have emerged this month showing that a South African variant of the coronavirus has mutated in areas of the virus that are key targets of vaccines, reducing their efficacy.
Oh, of course. Because we rushed this vaccine and we barely know anything about this virus. So once it mutates, the vaccine is going to be useless.
Story continue. Third-party ad safe and up. What we are learning is there is different efficacy in different parts of the world, Stoffel said in a telephone interview. Chrome has new... Importantly, though, in a sub-study of 6,000 volunteers in South Africa, Stoffel said the J&J vaccine was 89% effective at preventing severe disease. 95% of cases in the South Africa portion of the trial were infections with the South African variant. You are correct?
Dude, even your highest number isn't in the 90%. Like, your vaccine needs more work. I'm sorry.
A mid-stage trial of a Novavax incorporated coronavirus vaccine in South Africa also showed lower efficacy in the country. It proved to be 60% effective among volunteers who didn't have HIV. In a separate, late-stage trial in the UK, the vaccine was 89.3% effective. You are currently on a text element. Read more.
I don't like this. This feels shoddy to me. I don't like this vaccine at all. The Johnson & Johnson one, I think that this is an incredibly shoddy product. Yeah, that's crazy. Just crazy. Like, not even 90%, even the highest number they could come up with was not 90%. I do seem to recall that vaccines take about a year to produce. They should. They should normally, not like 2 or 3 months. Yeah. I think that the coronavirus vaccines have been incredibly rushed. And we haven't gotten enough data on them. We haven't gotten enough data on the virus yet. So, how could we possibly have enough data to prevent the virus? Let's see here. I know I said I was going to try to get an hour, but I'm at 50 minutes. And my back is going, hey, bitch, get out of this chair. So I'm unfortunately going to have to end here. But tomorrow we are going to do a Star Trek stream. And we are going to be talking about the ships of Trek. So, and that's anything from Federation starships to enemy starships. So, if that's something that interests you, please tune in at 5 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Central for the coffee stream tomorrow night. Thank you all for watching. I'm sorry I'm so blah and out of it, but I wanted to do at least a shorter stream instead of no stream at all. So I do thank you for bearing with me. You guys are awesome. If you are a patron of mine, I am going to be doing my first Patreon live stream tonight, and we are going to look at a book. Oh, excuse me. We are going to be looking at a book that got sent to my kids. It's a diversity children's book, and we're going to look at it tonight. I'm going to show it to my patrons on the very first Patreon only live stream. So if you're a patron, stay tuned for that link. It'll be posted on Patreon. And I hope everyone has a fantastic rest of their Friday and stays safe and well and as happy as you can. And I will see you guys tomorrow for Star Trek. Have a great day, guys.